Hey, how you doing? My name is Gabriel Carrera, and I advertise as the attorney that rides, and I practice law here in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida. And I have here, let me put my glasses on. You know how it is when you get a certain age. I have here from the Florida Political newspaper, an article written by Renzo Downey that was published on May 14, 2020. And it talks about that the governor of Florida extends the eviction and foreclosure moratorium to June 2. Now, when I first saw this, the first thing that came to mind is we have a separation of powers, okay? And the judicial runs itself. The legislature up in Tallahassee runs itself. And the governor, which is the executive branch of government, runs itself. And I'm just wondering, how can the governor come over to the judicial branch and say, look, there's going to be a moratorium, you can't do this? It's up to the Supreme Court of Florida to do a ruling or something to that matter. Perhaps there's something going on here that I don't exactly understand, but I do know that the here in Broward County, BSO and the 17th Circuit Court for Broward County said, look, we're closing down and we're not going to serve anybody and we're not going to foreclose on anybody, and we're basically shutting it down until X date. Now the governor's doing this, and I happen to be a fan of the governor. I think he's doing a great job, and it's my curiosity that's causing me to come out and say what's going on here. But it's going to happen until, see here, the Supreme Court had previously ordered a pause on eviction and foreclosures through April 17. After the governor's announcement, Representative Carlos Guillermo-Smith pinned the responsibility on DeSantis, whoever he is, benefits and can't pay rent as a direct result of FLDEO's failure. It's his moral obligation, the Orlando Democrat tweeted. Okay. All right. Then they talk about landlords are not monolith and have some limited supply of empathy that led politicians on both sides of the aisle to call for a moratorium on evictions. The state started phase 1 of the economic reopening plan last week, but the governor on Wednesday called the move more of a step 5. That still limits several businesses. A complete economy recovery could last the year, or at least until the state reaches the final reopening step. And in my hand, I have the signed order right here. I can smoke in my garage because I'm the man in my house, and my wife lets me. And it says here, whereas Executive Order 20-94 expires on May 17, 2020, unless extended now, therefore, I, Ron DeSantis, as governor of Florida, by virtue of the authority vested in me by Article 4, Section blah, 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 the Florida Constitution, chapter this, chapter that. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. I hereby extend Executive Order 2094 to 12:01 a.m. on June 2nd. So there it is. It was filed on May 14th at 8:36 a.m. in the morning on 2020. And I really like Ron DeSantis, but perhaps there's people out there smarter than me. You can post down here below and explain to the attorney that rides that's been holed up. I just ran across this article. Ooh. I'm going to go out and I'm going to let people know what's going on to get the word out, because I know a lot of people are not paying attention. They're worried about paying your bills. And there's two sides to this. You've got the landlords on this side. They also have families. They have mortgages that they need to pay. They've got their children they need to feed. They've got things that they need to fix on the buildings, and they are counting on those revenues, that money stream to come in. And without it, their credit score can hurt. They may have kids in college they need to pay. Some of them are probably paying child support. I know a few of my clients, they have some buildings they're paying child support and alimony. How are they going to be able to do that if their money stream is cut off? Number two, You have over here the tenants. The government told them, you can't work. Well, how am I going to pay my rent? Well, we're going to give you a moratorium. Now, you and I all know that if they don't pay the rent, they're going to buy food with a limited income that they have. They're probably applying for an employment benefit. Some are working. Yes, I understand that. But, you know, and there are those that need not be thrown out on the street in the middle of a pandemic, families and things of that nature. But there has to be a balance. It just can't be, it's got to be a balance. Also, we need to take into consideration about the long-term effect of this. The courts are going to be overrun with evictions, foreclosures. I know attorneys that were doing it during the bubble burst, and I know a few that keep going. They're that good, and they're saying we're ramping up. I'm hiring staff. I'm getting ready because it's going to explode. A lot of people are not going to be able to pay their homes. A lot of people are not going to be able to pay their rents. They're going to get evicted. And it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. I do not do foreclosures. I do not practice evictions. But if you need somebody, call me. I'll try to put you in somebody's hands, somebody that's capable and knowledgeable, okay? And I've always said that to everybody. Listen, even though I don't do it, I'm in the legal community. I can hook you up with somebody that's competent, that's not gonna break your back financially, and that, hey, if they don't call you back, you call me and I'll call them. Hey, why aren't you calling the client I referred to you? I'll get on them and crack the whip. And so far, I've been referring clients out to folks that practice law in other areas that I do. But I guess that's it. Now, hey, if you like this public service announcement that I put on, just smash that button right down there. Subscribe, support my channel. I'm going to educate the biker community. I'm going to be putting out motorcycle videos and promoting events and things of that nature. So, bam, hit it right now. Bam. If you need an attorney, who do you call, ladies?
Just call Gabe.
There you go. Just call Gabe.com or attorneythatrise.com.